Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Antonio Aponte with the Caribbean Baseball Organization, here today with United International College Athletic Director and Head Baseball Coach, alongside Mario Signorello and Orlando Rodriguez. Today we're going to talk about a story of a college baseball team that needed a college. Mario, do you want to pick up where I just left off and tell us a little bit more about the story?
Yeah, this is an absolutely amazing story that I got to watch unfold because I knew a lot of the parts together. We've at our college event, or CBO's World Comes to Palm Beach, as I was informed by the Palm Beach State coach that his AD received something from ASA, said that they didn't look like they were going to be able to field a team, so he would be needing some games. I knew Marcos, and I knew he was in his first year as a college coach, and I know because he ran a really good academy, and one of his employees that worked with him, Junior Black, also worked with me in the Bahamas event that we did, and I knew about half a dozen kids from the team because they played in our Charles Johnson Collegiate Summer League, and I think a bunch of them played for you, Antonio.
That's true.
And Marcos is a good guy and a good coach, and it's his first year, and these are good kids, and these are good kids. So after talking to him, I called up my old friend from 25 years of Ted Abernethy, who used to run the sports administration program, and it got me many interns, including Orlando Landy Rodriguez, who's now a minor league pitcher and still working with me at St. Thomas University, coached a tennis team, and so he was the athletic director at United International College. I had no idea where it was and what was going on, and Ted kind of told me how they were looking to start for the 23-24 school year with 3 sports. And I asked him if he knew what was going on with ASA College. And then Ted had already, and Ted will kind of tell you how it went from there. But Ted was already working on it. He was already taking everything's in motion. So somehow from the end of October up until now, they pulled off kids that had signed up to play at ASA College for first-year coach Marcos Cabral are now going to play baseball at United International College in Miramar, who was not planning to start their collegiate sports till 23-24, is now playing baseball and basketball starting this month for basketball and next month for baseball. How does that happen? And at that point, after I spoke to everybody and knew Ted, and they were talking to each other, I just hope they pull it off. And somehow you guys did, and it's a long road, and we're honored to be able to tell the story of how this came about, how this happened, and congratulations to everybody. The kids had to believe in their first-year coach. The first-year coach had to believe in administration that he'd never met. And the administration had to believe in kids and the coach they never met. But baseball games will be played next month.
Right. So thank you for that, Mario. Ted, I want to swing it over to you. Can you just tell us a little bit more about the timeline, how quickly this all took place, and how you were able to make it happen?
Well, like Mario said, I started here in the fall, and we had laid out plans to start soccer, tennis, and track, for next fall. So I was actively looking to hire coaches and start recruiting players and secure fields, and then this thing came up with ASA. A student walked in here one day from ASA and said he plays soccer, and oh great, yeah, we're gonna have a soccer team, and then he told us that they had no soccer in the fall, they had no classes, doesn't know what's going on, and the volume up. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. We can hear you.
Okay. And then another kid walked in with a similar story, and then I called a friend of mine who teaches at ASA and find out what's going on, and he said it was all up in the air. That they haven't delivered classes, and then we talked to my boss here, Angelica, talked to an admissions person down there, and they asked if we could take a few students, and And so I just got in the car and went down there, and I met the athletic director, football coach, a few others, that admissions person that we had spoken to, and it looks like the whole thing was folding, but although it was unclear on their end, what was happening, that the school tried to start a fall semester late, starting in October,
Mhm.
and they were in some kind of trouble because they had taken this federal financial aid. They have to deliver the credits, and now the schools are got to close, and they have to find a home for all the students. So I got in touch with Marcos and the baseball coach, and Jonathan, the basketball coach, and see if they'd be willing to come and bring the players with them, and boom, we had a baseball and a basketball team. But as Mario had mentioned, it's an incredible uncertain period of time, for the players as well as the coaches, because you came to go to one college and then they tell you they're not going to play, or they're not even going to have classes, and then another school says you can play here, and then we don't have anything ready yet. We don't have any fields. We don't have any gyms, and uh, credit to the coaches for keeping the kids together in belief. Uh, just trust us. Everybody's saying just trust us. We will eventually have the baseball team, and we'll eventually have the basketball team, but you got to hang in limbo without really even knowing who we are. And so it's a credit to the coaches. They kept the kids together and believing they're actually going to come here and actually going to play. And the basketball team has already started games, and this week we started classes. Now, some of the basketball players got in some classes at the end of last term, but the majority of them didn't really start till now. So that belief system, hanging in there, and now they're here, they're in the classes, and now their basketball team is playing. Baseball team is going to start practicing next week on our field. Coaches had them practicing down in Miami, but they're going to be playing up here in Miramar next week. But so now it's all happening, but it was all, I don't know if there's any other scenarios like this in college athletics. It
In my
certainly doesn't
lifetime,
happen often.
no, absolutely. So, Coach, you mind I ask you a question? Ted was talking about, believing in you guys and the trust. How did you convey, this story that, everything's going to work out to the players? How did you convince them to buy in to not only your coaching method, as a first-year coach, but to the fact that you're going to move guys from their school to a new school? How does that happen? How did you make it work?
Well, it wasn't easy. I'm not gonna lie, it wasn't easy at all. At first, I had to convince myself that I was gonna make that happen, that I was gonna make that switch over, that convince myself that I really wanted to do that. That was the first thing. Once I determined that I was gonna do that, then came reaching out to the guys. Um, Before I even spoke to Ted, I was already, I finally decided that I was going to try to help these guys out. I didn't want to leave them in limbo, and I wanted to find options for them because obviously what happened was a very unfortunate event. So I started the communication with them. I think through my messages, they can tell that I was going to fight for them, and that I was gonna, try my hardest, give it my all to find good options for them. So that was the first step, and I think that's when I was able to actually impact them in a way that, that they started believing in me, through my messages. Once they started believing in me, it was like God sent. Soon after that, I did receive a couple options. I was communicated by a couple of schools, a couple of coaches, kind of interested in the situation. But I remember Charles Clavins, the AD at ASA College, mentioning that he spoke to Ted. And Charles made that connection between Ted and I. And that's when, Ted kind of, said that he was interested in starting baseball and other sports at the university at UIC. And that immediately interested me, because I saw it as a great challenge. I saw it, I know how difficult it is to start something from scratch. Also, it was a great opportunity for the guys. Ted seemed very passionate about starting the sports and doing a good job, and I was all for it, and I was sold. And we spoke on the phone for about an hour. And then I think a couple of days after that, I went and visited the school.
So you have guys that were expected to play at a 2-year school, and now they're transitioning to the 4-year school. The difference, between a junior college and now a 4-year school. What is that right now? Like, what's that like in the clubhouse? How are guys reacting to the fact that they might play more years together? Has it changed the mind of a couple of guys? And how do you now change course, even yourself as a coach, where you had guys that you thought you might only have them for a year or two, now you might have them for longer? What is that difference like? And how do you go about, planning your strategy?
Right. Right now, it's kind of new to all of us, this situation, I think we're taking it one step at a time. We're not looking too far ahead. I think we're all just trying to get on the field, just do the best we can and just develop and together do the best we can, because we know we'll receive other opportunities, and we know when you put in the time and the hard work, good things are going to happen. So, we haven't, to be honest with you, we haven't really touched base on that too much. We're just thinking of the now right now and doing the best we can right now, and knowing, having faith that by doing a good job now, a lot of good things will happen in the future.
Absolutely. Well, gentlemen, it's been a pleasure to talk to you guys. It's an incredible story. It's a feel-good story. Coach, do you want to just let us know when your first game is and where we can catch the ball games this season?
Yes, our first games are gonna be mid-February. We're already doing physical training, and next week we start practicing on the field. We are gonna have some inter squad games here in January, but we're setting up. We're getting ready for mid-February. We have some upcoming games against Atlantis and Florida National University early on. So mid February, we'll have the dates out, so we can definitely have some supporters out there for us.
Absolutely. Gentlemen, thank you guys so much for coming today and doing this interview. It's been a pleasure to talk to you guys and hear one of the craziest stories possible in college baseball in a long time. So we thank you guys so much for coming on. To all the viewers, thank you so much for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed listening to an incredible college story where a team is able to find a home. And guys, thank you so much. Best of luck in the season and in the future.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Absolutely. Have a good one, everybody.